Ladies and gentlemen, it is that time again for some Week 11 NFL picks and predictions. Can you believe the season's been flying by this quickly? We're already at Week 11. It's been a great season, though. There's been some upsets. There's been some teams definitely living up to expectations. Some not so much. We're going to look at all of our Week 11 matchups and try to predict the outcome, the winner, loser's final score. We'll also take a look at our best bets, the money lines, the spreads, the over-unders for every single game. But before we get started, first things first, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment down below. Let me know who you think is going to win these games or what your favorite pick is coming up this weekend. I will respond to every comment. If you want to sign up for one of our member teams, check out the pinned comment below. Guys, let's not waste any more time. Let's jump right in. Let me just let you know, the Monday night game has not happened as me making this video, but it's never too early to start looking at the next week's matchups. The very first one we have kicking everything off is going to be our Thursday night game. Thursday, November 13th, 8:15 p.m., the prime video matchup, the 2-7 New York Jets. What a win they had this past weekend. Justin Fields did not even have 100 total yards, not 100 passing yards, 100 yards in total. They still pulled off the win somehow. They'll be on the road versus the extremely hot, the 8-2 New England Patriots. What are they riding, like a 5 or 6 game winning streak right now? Pats 68.2% chance to win. The Jets a 31.5. Patriots are 10.5 point favorites, 44.5 over-under. That is a massive spread there for an NFL game. The Jets overall, they're struggling on offense. Fields not having the best season. Brees Hall's having a really good year so far. Garrett Wilson has been banged up. Getting some targets, though. On the other side, the Patriots, this offense is cruising right now. The defense is playing well. Drake May living up to the expectations from the offseason. Since Vrabel took over, this looks like a completely different team. They look like the old Patriots, the Bill Belichick, Tom Brady Patriots. Now, I'm not saying they're going to win the Super Bowl like that type of team, but so far, they've definitely picked up the mantle right now. Drake May, 17 touchdowns, 4 picks, 2,300 yards. Jets are averaging 21.7 points a game, throwing for 144, running for 142. This is the worst passing team in the NFL, getting up 26.8 points a game. The Patriots, 26.5 points a game, throwing for 241, running for 118, giving up 19.2, but only 79.2 on the ground. One of the best front sevens in the NFL, which is perfect for a Jets matchup because the Jets are a very run-heavy team. Look for the Patriots to shut that down. They win this one 28-17. And this next one, I'm not going to lie, this is a really hard game to call. Moving on to our Sunday matchup, Sunday, November 16th, 9:30 p.m. Guys, we are going back to Europe on the NFL Network, the NFL Madrid game. We've been in Dublin, London, Berlin. Now we're in Spain. We're going to be facing off in Madrid. We're going to have the 3-7 Washington Commanders coming off of a complete and utter curb stomping by the Detroit Lions on the road versus the 3-7 Miami Dolphins, coming off of beating the Buffalo Bills. The first time they've beaten the Bills since 2022. The Dolphins didn't have Hill, lost a lot of their top players. Tua had a great game. Waddle had a great game. The defense showed up. They didn't just beat the Bills. They handled them pretty good. That caught everybody off guard. Bills were heavy favorites, though. Give the Dolphins some props. The Dolphins fans probably not really happy with the win because they probably wanted a higher draft pick. But either way, it is what it is. Can they keep that momentum going? Right now, the Dolphins, 45.9% chance to win. Commanders, 53.8% chance. The Dolphins are 2.5 point favorites, 47.5 over-under. The big question here, obviously, for the Commanders, they don't have Jalen Daniels. He's going to be out this game. Marcus Mariota, who didn't have a bad game this past week, and the team just overall did not play well. Can Marcus Mariota rally everyone back together? They've had a lot of injuries concerns. Debo's been banged up this season. Scary Terry's been banged up. Krosky Merritt has been healthy. This Washington team, though, with the loss over there on the field general, overall, the team has to step up. Miami, Tua has to keep the turnovers down. Even though they beat the Bills, he didn't necessarily play good. 2 touchdowns, 2 picks, but Achin played well. Waddle played well. Looking at the team stats, Washington, 22.3 points a game, throwing for 190, running for 135, giving up 28 points a game. Defense has been a massive issue so far, but it's also been that way for the Dolphins. The Dolphins, 21 points a game, throwing for 192, running for 107. Giving up 25.6 points per game. They're both giving up the 130s on the ground. Both these front sevens not necessarily good. They will give up yardage here. The thing, I see why the Dolphins are the favorite with Washington not having their starting quarterback. With Miami coming off of just beating the Bills, can they keep that momentum going? But that's exactly the reason why I'm going to go the other way. With Washington not playing well last week, give me the Commanders to rebound with the win here. They pull it off 24-21. And back to our regular football times, 1 p.m. on Fox, the 5-2-1 Green Bay Packers. Don't forget, the Monday night game has not happened yet as we make in this video. They'll be on the road versus the 2-8 New York Giants. What are they on, like a 4 or 5 game losing streak right now? The big issue for the Giants, health concerns. A lot of injuries with this team. They lost Malik Neighbors. They lost Scadaboo. Jackson Dart got a concussion this past game. Will he be starting? We don't know right now, but what I will say is this. I don't necessarily like the way they're using him. He's playing great, but way too many physical hits, running too much, hard physical, putting his shoulders down runs. Can't stay healthy that way, especially with the amount of injuries they had. Robinson of him had a great season. Just imagine where this team would be if everyone was healthy. Scadaboo, Neighbors, Robinson, Dart. Good young crop, good young core of players here, but overall the team is going to have to step up to make up for that loss. Right now, New York, 41% chance to win. Green Bay, 58.7. Packers are 8.5-point favorites. 44.5 over-under. The big question for the Packers is, what version of Green Bay shows up? They've been up and down this entire season. Sometimes they look like a Super Bowl contender. Sometimes they look like they're going to have a top 5 pick. They have the talent. Yes, they lost Kraft, but that receiver core as a whole, they're going to have to make up the difference. Team stats, Green Bay, 25.8 points a game, throwing for 248, running for 113, giving up 20.5 points a game. Good front seven, only giving up 89 on the ground. The Giants, 21.7 points a game, throwing for 210, running for 123, giving up 27.3. Dable, this team has a lot of defensive concerns here, and with the question mark to quarterback now, I don't think they have a shot. Give me Green Bay winning this one 30-20. Fox at 1 p.m. The 4-5 Houston Texans give this team some credit. What they have, like 24, 26 points fourth quarter, fought their way all the way back, won versus the Jags. Jacksonville, very good team. Houston showed a lot of heart. The number one overall statistical defense in the NFL. The offense showed up. The defense was forcing turnovers, especially when they had to get stops. The defense got stops, and that was without C.J. Stroud. That was with Foles. They're going to be on the road here versus the 1-8 Tennessee Titans. We like to call it what it is. Tennessee's by far the worst team in the NFL this season. Titans 34.8% chance to win. Houston 64.9%. The Texans 7.5-point favorites, 38.5 over/under. Very low-scoring game. Houston, obviously, with the health concerns around Stroud. Will they have Stroud this game? Will it be Foles? Doesn't matter. They have Chubb, and they have Collins, and on the other side, Cam Ward not having a bad season. Stats don't necessarily look good, but he needs help from the offensive line. They can't stop anything. The wide receiver cores, they all have butterfingers. No one can hold on to the ball. This team, as a whole, both sides of the ball, they got to help this guy out. Houston, 22.7 points a game, throwing for 220, running for 111, only giving up 16.7 points a game. Really good defense. They get after, create a lot of havoc in the backfield. Tennessee 14.4 points a game. If their O-line doesn't hold up, I feel so bad for Cam Ward here. They're throwing for 163, running for 81.2. Got to get the ground going. Quarterback's best friend is a run game. Ward doesn't have that right now. They're giving up 28.6. That's mostly due to field position, punts, giving the other team good field position. Give me Houston cruising here. They win it 24-13. And which is actually setting up to be a really fun game, 1 p.m. on Fox. The 6-3 Chicago Bears. When you compare last year's Bears team to this year's Bears team, there's a massive gap there. This team much improved over last season. Caleb Williams playing much better than he did last season. He's being efficient. He doesn't have happy feeling. He's getting the ball to his playmakers. He's not holding on to it too long. Now, one thing that we can say about the Bears is their defense is really bad. They will give up just as many points as they score. They're going to give that up on the other side. They'll be on the road versus the 4-5 Minnesota Vikings. Not a bad team overall. Good defense. They have a decent run game. They have a good wide receiver core. Obviously, they have Mason. They have Justin Jefferson, one of the best wide receivers, if not the best in the NFL. It's been the quarterbacks. Wentz, McCarthy. McCarthy's been getting the nod the last couple of games. Not playing bad, but he's a young, inexperienced NFL quarterback. Caleb Williams, a lot more reps under his belt. Right now, Minnesota, 2.5-point favorites, 45.5 over/under. Vikings, 51.7% chance to win. The Bears, a 47.9% chance. They got Caleb Williams. They have Odunze. They have Moore. They have Swift. They have a good overall offense, 26.6 points a game, throwing for 232, running for 147. A lot of balance to this offense. A good run game open up that deep play action. They're giving up 27.4. Like I said, not a good defense. Minnesota, 22.3 points a game, throwing for 198, running for 102, giving up 23.7. It's all going to come down to who's going to protect the ball second half. I think this is going to be a very close game. Could go down to the very final drive. Could come down to someone just running the clock out to close this game out. I have that being Chicago pulling off the upset. Bears win this one 26-23. And two teams that are pretty much in very identical situations. This game's going to be 1 p.m. on Fox. The 5-5 Carolina Panthers. Got to give this team some credit. Ended last season on a pretty high note. They were able to pick up that momentum this season. One of our surprise 500 teams coming off of a pretty brutal loss this past weekend. Can they recapture that momentum? I've been saying the entire season. If Bryce Young has a very good, consistent run game, he can work the play action well. As long as Dowdle has some lanes, he can heap the deep passes. He has McMillan there, a steal in the first round. They're going to be on the road versus the 3-6 Atlanta Falcons. Falcons actually playing some pretty decent football the last couple weeks. This is not a bad team. When Penn Penix has that deep vertical passing game going. They have Bijan Robinson. They have a pretty decent defense. They have a very good secondary. These teams are going to be facing off right now. Obviously, the Falcons at home, 3.5-point favorites, 42.5 over-under. Atlanta, 56.6% chance to win. Carolina on the road, 43% chance. Looking at the overall playmakers here for the Falcons, look for a steady run game. Look for Michael Penix to be aggressive, pushing the ball down the field, but he has to be accurate this game. Sometimes it's on, sometimes it's not, but he definitely loves that vertical passing game. Carolina, 17.7 points a game, throwing for 164. Definitely a run-heavy team, running for 133.1 per game, giving up 22.2. Falcons, 18.7 points a game, throwing for 211, running for 119, giving up 23.2. Really good secondary, though, only giving up 162 through the air. That's one of the best secondaries in the NFL. But they're giving up 146.4 yards per game on the ground. I think Carolina's going to bring that run game on the road. Look for them to rebound with the win here. I have the Panthers winning this 20-17. This game on CBS at 1 p.m., the 6-3 LA Chargers versus the 5-4 Jacksonville Jaguars. Both teams over 500. Both teams have a real shot to make the playoffs. This is actually two teams in very similar circumstances. What I mean by that, they've both been up and down the entire season. They've showed us their best. They've showed us their worst. When they are both on, very difficult teams to beat. When they're not playing their best, they're always due potentially for an upset. Right now, the Chargers, 56.3% chance to win. The Jags at home, 43.4. LA, 1.5-point favorites, 44.5 over. A 1.5-point favorite spread here on the road. The game is basically a pick-up. You can make a very strong case for why either one of these teams is going to win this game. Obviously, for Harbaugh's team, this is a very pass-reliant team. They love to run the ball, but they don't have Hampton right now. But they do have Ladd McConkey. They do have Justin Herbert having a very efficient season, pushing the ball down the field. Jacksonville, you're going to have a very good game here from Trevor Lawrence. When he is indecisive, the Jacksonville Jaguars pay via turnovers. Travis Etienne having the best rushing season of his career. Brian Thomas has been banged up, but they did pick up Jacoby Myers. He is going to be due for a big game at some point. Right now, Chargers, 23.9 points a game, throwing for 251 yards per game. They love pushing the ball down the field, running for 124, giving up 21.4 points a game. This is actually not a bad defense, just not quite playing up to the par of where they were last year. Jacksonville, 22.8 points a game, throwing for 205, running for 120, giving up 24.4 points a game. One of the highest turnover teams. What I mean by that is on the defensive side, they force a lot of turnovers. They have like 15 interceptions so far this season, only giving up 91.7 on the ground. But where they falter, they had a bad secondary last season. They have a bad secondary this season. Yes, they have a lot of interceptions, but they're giving up 253 passing. And like I said, Chargers love to push the ball down the field. Give me LA winning this one, 27-20. I'm not going to lie, guys. I've actually kind of gone back and forth on this next game. 1 p.m. on CBS. The 3-6 Cincinnati Bengals. They don't have Joe Burrow. Led the NFL in passing last season. This defense is so awful. Every single game is a shootout. Like I was saying, they led the NFL in passing last season. Joe Burrow comes out. Flacco shows up. Flacco's on this team like one day. He's slinging the ball up and down the field. They're gunslinging it left and right. They have, 3 straight games over 30 points. Almost 2 straight games practically with 40 points. There's so many weapons on this team, though. Chase, Higgins, they just need a quarterback to distribute the ball, get the ball to the playmakers. Flacco, 1,300 yards, 11 touchdowns, 2 picks. He's been on this team like 2 days, putting up monster stats here. They're on the road versus the 5-3 Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh. Rodgers not quite playing up to like 2010 Packers VAR, but he's looking pretty good this season. Cannot complain about the production. Warren, a DK Metcalf. Pittsburgh, 60.7% chance to win at home. Tomlin, not a typical Tomlin defense. What I mean by that is they're not good this season. They got to play a lot better. Cincinnati, 39% chance. The Steelers are 5.5-point favorites, 49.5 over-under. The team stats, Bengals, 24 points a game, throwing for 229, running for 78.8. Got to get those rush yards up. But they can't really run the ball because they're behind so much. They have to push the ball down the field and score quick. They're giving up 33.3 points a game. The worst defense in the NFL. Check these numbers out. Giving up 260.1 through the air, 166.4 on the ground. No matter who they're playing. If they were playing a high school team, they'd probably still give up 300 yards on offense. Pittsburgh, 25.3 points a game, throwing for 201, running for 87. They're not a good rushing team. They're giving up 24.4 points a game. To close games out in the fourth quarter, you have to be able to run the ball. This is one of those games you can make a strong case for either one to walk away with the dub. I'm going to revisit this one later on. It's a really difficult game to call as of right now. Give me the Bengals pulling off the upset. They win it 28-24. And this is easily one of the best, if not the best, game of the entire weekend. 1 p.m. on CBS. The 6-3 Tampa Bay Buccaneers coming off a loss, a very close loss on the road versus the 6-3 Buffalo Bills, coming off of getting beat down by the Dolphins. Both teams looking for a rebound here. This is a great matchup. Both these teams, playoff-bound teams, both with Super Bowl aspirations. You have the Bucs 35.6% chance to win on the road. Buffalo 64.2 heavy fan favorites. Buffalo 5.5-point favorites, 50.5 over-under. You have to respect the offenses from both of these teams. The thing for the Buccaneers, this team has been decimated by injuries, and still they've continued to find ways to win. Baker Mayfield's had a great season so far. He's been down practically every single playmaker. White, Irving, Egbuka, Evans, Godwin. No matter who you trot out there, just give him a warm body. He will feed them the ball. Buffalo lacks a true wide receiver number one. That's their biggest weakness to me. They have Josh Allen. He's the reigning MVP award winner. He could very well win it again this season. Cook's having a great season on the ground, well over 900 rushing yards, racking up rushing touchdowns. But they need a true deep threat to kind of spread this team out. Looking at the overall team stats, two good offenses. Tampa Bay is coming in here, 24.4 points a game, throwing for 229, running for 100, giving up 22.9 points a game. Buffalo 27.6 points a game, throwing for 231, running for 153. Pretty good balance there, giving up 21.9 points a game. This is one of those ones we're going to rebound. We do have a prediction video coming out later this week because the spreads will change, injury updates will change. I'm going Tampa Bay. I'm again going to go with the upset pick here. The Bucs rebound with a win. They win at 28-26. Fox at 4:05 p.m. The 6-4 San Francisco 49ers coming off a loss versus the 3-6 Arizona Cardinals. Both these teams coming off a loss. Both these teams actually coming off of getting drubbed. They love the rebound, try to get things back on track. Arizona at home, 39.3% chance to win. The 49ers, 60.4% chance. 49ers, kind of just like the Buccaneers, just like last season's 49ers teams, completely decimated by injuries. They've been down almost every single guy. It's actually crazy. The healthiest person on this team has been Christian McCaffrey so far, which is pretty crazy. Closing in on 700 rushing yards, 700 receiving yards, might get 1,000 season. He's having a great season so far. They just need everybody else around him to stay healthy. It's actually pretty surprising. They're a couple games over 500 with the amount of injuries they've had. Arizona, Kyler Murray's been down here. Jacoby Brissett's been getting the nods at a quarterback. Kyler Murray might be getting dumped at some point. A lot of chaos going on with Arizona. Currently, right now, like I said, 49ers here, 2.5-point favorites. Looking at the team stats here. San Francisco, 22 points a game, throwing for 261, running for 95. I'd like to see them run just a little more successfully, giving up 23 points a game. Cardinals, 22.4 points a game, throwing for 203, running for 113, giving up 23.9 points a game. They don't have a bad defense, but the offense has been struggling to get consistent first downs the last 2 to 3 weeks. Give me the 49ers getting back in the win column. Doesn't matter who they roll out there. They're scoring some points. San Francisco wins 28-21. And this is truly some two good teams that could easily make the Super Bowl this season. They are lighting things up to start the season. 4:05 p.m. on Fox, the 7-2 Seattle Seahawks versus the 7-2 LA Rams. This might be the game of the weekend. It's two really good offenses. It's two elite defenses faking off. It's two quarterbacks playing at extremely high levels. One younger one veteran. Right now, the Rams at home, 59.3% chance to win. Seattle on the road, 40.4% chance. The Rams are 2.5-point favorites, 48.5 over-under. But you got Sam Darnold, well over 2,200 passing yards, throwing up a lot of touchdowns. He's got Kenneth Walker, Charbonnet, Smith-Njigba over 1,000 yards, leading the NFL in receiving yards, and they're bringing a good defense on the road with them. LA, Stafford, 2,500 passing yards, his most efficient season of his career. I'm not saying the most touchdowns. I'm saying touchdown to interception ratio, completion percentage wise, the most efficient season he's had so far in a very storied career. He's a veteran. If it comes down to one final drive, he'll take you right down the field and score. Williams is having another good season. Nakua might be the most electrifying guy in the NFL when he's fully healthy. Seattle, 30.6 points a game, a top 3 offense in the NFL. Throwing for 246, running for 114, only giving up 19.1 yards per game, top 10 defense. LA, 27.9 points a game, top 6 offense. Throwing for 260, running for 113, giving up 17 points a game. That's a top 5 defense in the NFL. Whose defense is going to come out on top? Whose offense is going to have the upper hand? It's a game that's going to be close. It's going to go back and forth. But give me the Rams getting the win at home. They win it 27-24. CBS at 4:25 p.m. We really are blessed with some really good matchups. Like I said when the video started, we have a lot of teams starting to separate themselves, the contenders from the pretenders here. This is two teams with playoff aspirations. The 5-4 Kansas City Chiefs. Don't laugh at that because they're 5-4. This was the runner-up to the Super Bowl last season. They've won a lot of Super Bowls. Got to take them serious here. Veteran, experienced team on the road versus the 8-2 Denver Broncos. What are they riding, like a 5 or 6 game winning streak? But I'll say it like this: that Thursday night game, that was painful to watch. That was atrocious. That was some of the worst NFL pro football I've ever seen in my life. But they got the win. Denver 39% chance to win. KC 60.7% chance. Chiefs are 3.5-point favorites. 44.5 over under. Patrick Mahomes here coming off the bye week. This might be the best passing season he's had in a couple years. 2,400 yards, 17 touchdowns, 5 picks. Pacheco's been banged up. Kelsey, Brown, Worthy. They have the weapons here. Not a true legit wide receiver number one, but a pretty good crop of guys. They have a really good defense, a great defensive front seven. They create a lot of havoc in the backfield. Can they bottle up Bo Nix, force some errant throws, keep him from getting outside the pocket, keep him from extending plays with his legs? Broncos, obviously, Sean Payton, great play caller. But they've had some really close games the last couple weeks. If you have close games, at some point, a loss is going to find you. Bo Nix, 18 touchdowns, 8 picks. They have some injuries on the offensive side. KC, 26.1 points a game, throwing for 249, running for 121, only giving up 17.7 points a game. Top 5 defense in the NFL. Defense travels on the road. Denver, 23.5 points a game, throwing for 206, running for 129, giving up 17.3. Also, top 5 defense. This is two teams with great defenses. When it comes down to that, I have to go with the veteran quarterback, one of the current GOATs in the NFL. Give me KC winning this one, 24-20 on the road. CBS, 4:25 p.m. The 4-5 Baltimore Ravens riding a 3-game winning streak. They didn't have Lamar Jackson for the longest time. He's back, one of the most electrifying quarterbacks in the NFL. He could throw for 4,500 yards. He can run for 1,000 yards. He can do a little bit of everything with a stacked offensive roster. Henry, Flowers, Andrews, there's weapons all over the place. They have a very questionable defense, but if the offense can move the ball, suck up clock, control time of possession, they keep the ball away from the opponent's hands. Thankfully for them, they're going up against the 2-7 Cleveland Browns. The Browns they're not necessarily known for their offense. They are known for having a really good defense, really good defensive front seven, but they're on the field the entire game. They get wore out. Can they bottle up Lamar Jackson, keep him in the pocket? Because if they let this Ravens control the pace of the game, it's going to make it a very long day for the Browns offense, which is going to make it a long day for the Browns defense. Right now, Cleveland 20% chance to win. Baltimore 79.8% chance. 9.5-point favorites. Huge spread for an NFL game. 41.5 over under. Lamar Jackson, he's doing everything since he's been back. When he's back on the field for Harbaugh's team, completely different team. 25.4 points a game, throwing for 181, running for 137. Look for those numbers to improve week to week as they start to score some more points. They're giving up 26.1. They do not have a good defense in any way whatsoever. One of the worst secondaries out there. Cleveland, 16.2 points a game, throwing for 168, running for 97, giving up 23.4. Really feel bad for their defense because this is a really good defense. You can't bend forever. At some point, you're going to break. At some point, the offense has to get a first down and stay on the field. Give me Baltimore. They continue to cruise. They win this one 24-17. And guys, just as a little bit of a side note, I'm probably going to be doing a live stream coming up this Friday or Saturday. Make sure to drop any questions you want me to answer down in the comment section. Doesn't matter what the question's about. I'll answer anything you want, whether it's sports, personal, whatever. Drop it in the comment section. Just make sure to let me know that you want me to answer it at the live stream, and I will make sure to call your comment out, and I'll answer. Like I said, drop anything down there. Who cares? I'll touch on it. This is a really good game. Our final Sunday night game. Again, another really good one. The defending Super Bowl champs here. 8:20 p.m. NBC, or second to last game. The 6-3 Detroit Lions. The Lions, they're up and down the season. They light people up. They get beat. Whenever they're coming off a bad game, though, they're prepared to go on an offensive run. They're on the road versus the 6-2 Philadelphia Eagles. Like I said, the Monday night game has not happened as we make in this video. The Eagles, the Super Bowl champs, 53.5% chance to win. The Lions, 46.1%, very close to a 50-50. This is two good offenses. The game could go either way. Philadelphia at home, 1.5-point favorites, 48.5 over under with a 1.5-point spread. Like I said before, it's basically a pick 'em at this point. The Lions, gosh, do they have some firepower. Goff has 2,300 yards. He's lighting up the touchdowns, keeping the turnovers down this season. They have Gibbs. They have Montgomery. Might be the best 1-2 running back combo in the NFL. St. Brown, Laporta, weapons, quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end. They have everything that you could ask for. If the defense stays healthy, they'll have that too. On the other side, the Eagles also have a lot of weapons. Jalen Hurts keeping he only has one interception so far this season. Not the most accurate throwing the ball this season. Obviously, Browns had some concerns about that. They have Smith. They have Barkley. Not having his 2,000-yard season he had last year, but still overall, you got to respect this team, what they can do on the ground. Controlling time of possession. If they can run the ball successfully, keep the ball away from the Lions' hands, they have a good defense if it can play up to par. Right now, looking at the overall team stats here, the Lions' number one offense last year, top three offense this season, 31.4 points a game. Throwing for 236, running for 136, giving up 22.2 points a game, only 94 on the ground. It's going to be their front seven versus this Eagles offensive line. Philadelphia, 26 points a game. Throwing for 193, running for 112, giving up 23.1 points a game. This is going to be a very close game. This could be a 30-30 type game. It's going to go down at the end. There's no doubt about it. There's so much talent on these teams. I'm going to go out a little bit on a stretch here. Give me the Lions pulling off the upset. They win at 27-23. And our final game of Week 11, 8:15 p.m. on ABC, the 3-5-1 Dallas Cowboys. Dallas here, they got a rebound off that last loss. They'll be on the road versus the 2-7 Las Vegas Raiders. Pete Carroll's team had to completely flip the roster over. Raiders 40% chance to win. Dallas 59.6. Actually a lot closer than I thought it would have been. Maybe someone knows something that I don't know. Right now, the Cowboys here, 3.5-point favorites on the road, 50.5 over-under. Dallas has one of the best offenses in the NFL, but their defense is something atrocious. Raiders, though, they don't have a good defense. They don't have a good offense either, but still, it's a very close spread here. Like I said, maybe someone knows something. Right now, Dak Prescott, well over 2,400 yards, 17 touchdowns, 6 picks. Williams having a great season run the ball. Dallas last year couldn't run the ball. They can run it this season. They have Pickens. They have CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb has come back from his injury with a vengeance. Both those guys on each side, they can light it up, especially with Prescott pushing the ball down to them. The Raiders, they have Geno Smith. Geno Smith is banged up right now, but the amount of touchdowns he throws, he's also going to throw some interceptions. Which version of Geno shows up? That's the big question. They can run the ball. Tucker, Brock Bowers, Gentry, they have some weapons on this team. Looking at Dallas, 29.2 points a game, throwing for 258, running for 121, giving up 30.8 points a game. Their defense is god-awful, but they can score with anyone. Las Vegas, 15.4 points a game, basically half of what Dallas is scoring. Throwing for 185, only running for 87.4, giving up 24.4 points a game. Vegas has this being a very close spread, but I'm going to go with Dallas owning this game. They win at 34-20. So guys, that's going to wrap up all of our Week 11 picks and predictions. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment below. What are your favorite picks coming up? What are you going to be betting on? Who do you think is going to win these matchups? Make sure to drop a comment for me. I will touch on it in our live stream either Friday or Saturday coming up this week. If you want to sign up for one of our member teams, check out the pinned comment below. Click on that sign up there. I would appreciate it. Thanks for watching.